was in the middle of doing those last two tests, and they did render. I was wondering if they were even going to. I haven't looked at them yet, but they've finished rendering. And the machine shut down twice in a row. So it hit me. Well, maybe, I just changed that from MP4 to FLV, so that the output setting. So I thought, well, maybe that's what did it all along. I had thought, well, the first time I tried to run OBS Studio on this laptop, I gave up because it kept doing that. This time, just a while ago, I thought, well, that's because I did that. It happened because I was messing around with the video settings, the display settings. And so we're fixing to see. I'm just going to go back to making my little video, and it may quit again abruptly. But may not. Maybe it was that's this processor can't handle rendering that FLV. Maybe it's just too much for it. I don't know what. I remember last time it was really seeming hot when it was doing that. It's warm, good and warm, and the fan was running like it was just really trying to cool it off, running full blast. Of course, it does that a lot when I'm using OBS anyway. But I had been kind of keeping an eye. See, I had been keeping an eye. This is 64% right now on the CPU, 68% on the CPU, 67. It's just going back and forth there, which it had been doing a lot. And I made videos for, like I made a 3 hour and 45-minute video yesterday, day before. And I can hear that fan going, running a lot of the time. But so maybe it's the MP4 thing. We'll see. If it quits again, I'm giving up because I'm getting tired and ready to go get a bath anyway. So I was talking about my blog post I made, and my plan here is to install OBS Studio on a Linux system, because I like working in Linux better, and that's pretty much everything I'm do. That's what I want to make screenshots, screen videos of, desktop videos of, and that's, I'm not going to go over all the stuff I wrote today. I actually spent a long time writing that, but I wrote my my experiences. I just kind of tried to put down a little bit about my experiences with XSplit, Wirecast, and OBS Studio, and this is some of the information about OBS Studio here. And I wanted to have all this in one place so that when I get on the other machines, I'll be able to find what I need. They have some plugins that sound interesting. I haven't downloaded them and tried them yet. There's three. Looks like there's three of them, and these are written by other people, not the people that write this software, but users. Simple scene switcher, video source, and browse source. That video source was the one I mentioned in another video about. I wondered if it might help with that, being able to play. Supposedly there's something in there about being able to helping to fix the problem that I was having. The video is breaking up, and actually it seems like it breaks the syncing completely. I think maybe the the videos I'm using, there's so many different frame rates and bit rates and all that stuff in videos, and I think maybe just so happens the videos I'm using, or most videos, I don't know, cause trouble. But I was using lead in and lead out videos, a couple of videos I had, and one of them was actually made automatically by Google Photos from my kind of mashup of my photos and videos, and they put some music to it made by their machine. A person didn't do it. I don't know if you've ever messed with Google Photos, but it's kind of neat. I'll let some of my pictures and videos get uploaded there. Actually, I had a bunch of videos I made several years ago in 2009 that I never got around to editing. A series I was making on putting wheel bearings on my '76 Blazer. And I thought, what? I'm just going to let them upload them, and then after they were uploaded to Google Photos, they had it. At first, I didn't see it, but then later I saw it. So it's probably because I was early adopter, But anyway, I was able to transfer those over to YouTube without having to actually manually spend all that time uploading them, because I had 70 videos or something, 50, 60, 70, I don't remember. Of course, they're all raw, not edited. I did a bunch of work on that truck. It was a week long. I kept making videos every day, all day, you know, or most of the day. So anyway, I like to make videos once sometimes I get really crazy on making videos, but then it's a monumental task to edit them. So a lot of times I don't get around to it. So I had lots of plans. What I was going to do with it, I had a lot of still shots too. I was going to edit them together, but maybe one day. Okay, so then on Open Broadcaster, it'll run, I don't know, it will run in Windows, OS X, and Linux, and Mac, OS X, Mac. I saw somewhere I saw a video about, just a general video one time. I started watching it about OS X, and they're saying, don't call it X, it's 10. I'm like, well, it doesn't look like a Roman numeral X to me, so write it right or shut up. You're going to be that picky? Everybody calls it OS X. So I don't know what that was I was watching, or how I found it, because I don't use Macs, and I don't know why I was watching it. But let's see. Yeah, there's one thing. OBS multi-platform is a complete rewrite of the original OBS from the ground up, with the main goals of being of course, this makes sense, with the main goals of being, of course, multi-platform support. There's missing punctuation there, so it's hard to. When the main OBS multi-platform is a complete rewrite of the original OBS from the ground up. That should be a period there. With the main goals, of course, being multi-platform support. Now, I'm going to say it the way I think it should be. A more thorough feature set and a much more powerful API. It's kind of funny, because not that I'm a expert, but people that are really smart can write really complicated software. They don't often write very good English. Of course, a lot of them, it's not their first language, so it could be this case here, I don't know. But I see that a lot with you know, people that I know are Americans. They say they are, you know, on their website and everything. And so I played around a lot with different kilobit ratings. When MP3s was first invented, I started out messing with waves, you know, that's all there was. And then they had real audio, then they had MP3s. And so I was trying to, on dial-up, you know, you want things to be able to. Then when I put clips of my music online in waves, and then when MP3s came out, I started using MP3s, using longer clips. I still didn't try to put full songs up, because you know how long it takes to download things. But then over the years, I got to where I put all my full songs up, and I've mentioned my websites before and stuff and showed them. But anyway, point being, 96 kilobits per second. You can hear a little difference. You know, it's a little more tinny to me, and a little, you know, there's a little less bass, it seems, as compared to like 128. But at 128, and all you're doing is talking, that's fine. So I could can't do what's running, but I might change that setting. Thing is, that's not a huge difference in bandwidth, though. It's the video that makes all the difference. So I don't want to lose any video quality any more than I have to, because I've been in my videos. You can read the text, but it is a little fuzzy, little blurred, you know, around the edges. Still the best I've gotten out of any of these apps, these streaming apps. But that's one thing where you can save a little bandwidth. And I know it seems to help, like when you're doing a desktop video and then you have to let the machine render it. It seems to help in the render time. Seems to speed it up a little bit, dropping the audio on down. So let's see. Okay, and I was talking about putting it on my Linux system, one of my Linux systems. I already tried. You can't. You got to have a system. I'll show that here in a minute. It says it's right here. You know, it says it run. They've made pre-built packages to run on Ubuntu, Arch, OpenSUSE, Gentoo, and then next is build from source. Guess what? Build from source is where I fought with Fedora. But it doesn't look like it'll be too hard because I'm going to go on down here. I've got all this in here. Of course, it tells you here's the installation instructions, build from source instructions, and all that. I'm just going to go on down. Anyway, this is the installation instructions. Windows, most people know how to do, you know, install a Windows app. But let me see if I can get down here. I'm going to do what I usually do to find things quickly. Well, of course, it went back up to the top, but I'm searching for Fedora inside the browser window. Yeah, Fedora 22 Plus installation unofficial. So you've got to have at least Fedora 22. I had forgotten that. So I didn't know where it cut off. That's what I'm saying. I forgot. So I have my my Blue FIC that I've been using as my backup server. It is Fedora 22, so I could put it on there, or I could put it on my brand new server, which is what I'm thinking about doing. But I kind of hate to do that until I see whether or not it can work. I don't want to put a junk on it that I then would have to try to uninstall. I don't want anything that could possibly be running in the background, anything in the background that would slow down, you know, put a toll on my server, because it's going to run 24/7. And it's I kept saying it was a 2.8 gigahertz. It's a 2.53 gigahertz. It's another machine I have that's 2.8 gigahertz solar on. But I set it up as a TV watching box. It's in the living room closet hooked up to the TV. So Fedora installation, they say unofficial, so it's not in the Fedora repos. FFmpeg's required. Well, I got FFmpeg on every Linux system I got. If you're not sure, then you probably don't have it. You can get it from RP Infusion repos. So here's the commands. They're real simple. And it starts with sudo. Some people say sudo, but to me it's sudo. That's what the word. There's a word sudo. That's what that word is. As far as I know, I'm a terrible speller sometimes. But hang on, gotta have a drink. And sudo is the right context because it's sudo root is what it's doing for you. But anyway, I don't do that. I use su. I just put su to put in my root password, and then because if you use sudo, you have to put sudo in front of every command. And I was watching a video where some guys were making. They're really kind of like electronics engineers, and one of them was a real good Linux guy, and the other guy was a Windows guy, and he was doing. The guy with the Windows guy was typing all this stuff. They were turning a Raspberry Pi, that little Linux single board computer. They were making it into a camera, hooking up a camera to it, and they were gonna have it do some automated stuff. So they were putting in some. They were doing all this stuff in the command line remotely, you know, like we were doing the other day here on my server. And but the Linux guy was telling him what to type, but he kept forgetting. The other guy kept forgetting to put sudo in front of it. I've only heard one person call it sudo, but anyway. I type su, put in my password, and then all I need is the rest of this. From then on, I don't have to put sudo in there. It doesn't matter. I've seen a couple of commands that wouldn't work without the sudo. I got errors, but once in a while. Anyway, but what happens normally in Fedora for me is if I use the sudo and I'm already typed SU in my root password, then I get an error that way. So either way, whatever way floats your boat, you know, as long as it works. Anyway, I've already tried this in my Fedora 14 system, and all I got was, you know, got errors saying it wouldn't work, and it was saying it needed DNF, you know. And then that's when it hit me. Oh, yeah, there's DNF in the command. So you download it right there, and then you can install it. This pulls in all the dependencies. It's right here. I didn't notice that. Some particular things, when you paste them, see how far it went all the way off the template. Some particular things, for however the pages, whenever you paste something in there, and what I do is I paste it into my use Thunderbird and send it to my blog, you know, by email. But so sometimes, unless I go there and look, I don't see that it got funky. But I don't want it word wrapped anyway. You want, or it wouldn't, if somebody wanted to copy that and use it, then it wouldn't work. So as long as it word wraps in here, but it doesn't put any returns or anything, it's alright, because what I can do is go in there and select that text and hit remove formatting, and then it gets all straightened out and looks good in the page. And I have tried it a couple of times, and it still worked in the command line. Okay, and then to do updates, you may need to do the following: DNF clean all. Now I wouldn't do that unless I absolutely had to, because if you clean all, that's the same thing as doing yum clean all. If you clean all, get rid of all your cache and everything, sometimes it breaks stuff. I did that in this machine. I'm on the Windows machine, but I'm looking at my web browser in my Fedora 14 machine, so just to not use too many resources running the web browser along with OBS Studio. That's what I figured out, is that really the machine can really hardly do anything more than just run OBS Studio whenever, and while I'm making these videos. So anyway, it lost all of my repos. It took them all out, and it was a pain in the butt to get them back in there. I ended up having to, I think I had a backup of my repos file or something, and I put it back in there that way or something. But it really caused me some headaches. Now what I don't get is, I've ran clean all before. Actually, that sudo update and all that. No, just yum, you know, like yum clean all. I've run that several times over the years. I don't know how many times. And whenever there was something wrong, there's a you know, like if your machine get a power outage in the middle of an update or something, you may have to do that. Or the machine gets shut down for whatever reason in the middle of an update, you know, then you may have to do that to clean out that broken stuff. And it didn't used to do that, but it just last couple of years it's happened to me once or twice even. The thing is, the Fedora 14 repos are no longer there, and I actually don't have them anymore. There's an archive site that Fedora set up with all that stuff, but there's something tricky about editing those repo files to me, and I never do get it quite right. So I just get tired of messing with it. I don't need them. I've got everything I want on the machine. It's too full. The hard drive's too full for me to keep adding stuff. I don't need to keep adding stuff, and when I add stuff, I can do it on a new machine. And I have the RPM Fusion repos; they still work. So I still get my Fedora updates because my Firefox updates, because I have Firefox running in standalone mode, and it automatically updates itself, and so does Thunderbird. So and of course, we're not putting out any more updates, and are not maintaining the Fedora 14 packages anyway. So except for maybe a few security updates here and there, I still get Wine and Play on Linux updates, and constantly got notices from Chrome saying your system doesn't support Chrome, blah blah blah. Chrome won't even work on here anymore. It'll open up, but it slows down the machine so much I have to kill it. I just realized that I might be able to make that full screen, but I remember this tight BNC viewer, you have to remember a long bunch of commands. It's like Control Alt, stick a finger in your nose, you know. I got it written down. There it is. Control Alt Shift F. That's how you. The only way that they tell you that you can get out of. It doesn't like all of the other remote desktop apps that I have ever used. Yeah, well, only ones I really generally use are in Linux. You put your mouse up there at the top, or you can set it to be at the bottom or whatever, and it'll bring down a little menu, and you just click, you know. But not in this one. So it does tell you. I mean, when you get in there, it says here's the way to get out of full screen. And so I thought, man, I better write that down just in case. And it was a good thing I did, because once I got in there wasn't no other way to get out. Like, you could click on that right there and go full screen, but once you do it, you're in there. So, and I haven't even messed with the rest of it. But anyway, it definitely makes things look better for me. You know, like when I'm working, if I was really working and moving around, I'd probably get up there and accidentally click that stuff instead of these. So I generally go full screen whenever I'm actually working in remote. And I did figure out how to. There it is right there. I'll mention that in another video, the one that actually was all messed up because it got also out of sync. But you can click on that, and that's auto scale. And so now I can move around I can see my whole desktop. Even though the resolution, you know, it's a bigger, the resolution of that machine is higher, and it's a bigger picture than what this laptop, you know, is. Even same monitor, it's kind of odd because it's the same monitor, but this laptop won't put out as big a resolution to the monitor as the other machine. I guess don't know why. It's the biggest it's gonna do. And so you can but so now I can flip and switch back and forth real quick and easy. You can see by the way, this system monitor is awesome. I leave this open the whole time my machine's running, and if anything gives trouble, I can just click on it. Even at the end of a couple of my videos, and it never showed up. It just wasn't there. So and I was seeing it, you know, on the preview screen. So let me go back over. Whoops, yeah, like that. Let's see, the plugins are up here. I went up and it went down. There, the plugins. When you get in this screen, you get the tiny little square instead of a pointer, and I'm like, oh, where'd everything go? I believe it's video source. Yeah, I've still got that open. Okay. Plugin is the one. A video, add video files and other media as sources. Files supported by VLC should work. Which the program already does that. You know, so I was like, well, what's the point in that? And I thought maybe it's an old plugin that before they put that into the program. It says this is a very un-alpha video source plugin. Un-alpha? So what does that mean? It's further along than alpha. It's beta, you know, in its development. What are they saying? Similar to what FFmpeg plugin was trying to achieve. So there's some other input. Somebody must have written one called FFmpeg plugin. So there's a 32-bit and a 64-bit version. Added video filter settings for contrast, brightness, and gamma. Thanks to Tire for adding menu and setting up libVLC to use various deinterlacing methods, as well as adding timestamp smoothing, which should alleviate out of sync and crackling issues when outputting to stream. Now, that's the key that makes me think, yeah, this might be useful. that's it. I don't hear crackling, but my audio cuts in and out on my videos every time I've played them in my stream. And talk about out of sync. I mean, it just destroys it. I end up with nothing but some long-lasting still images and me talking my little head off, you know, of course not knowing it's completely hosed, because when you look at the health stream, it can be perfectly green. It looks good, because I've done it during these times. That one video that I'm talking about, the one where I actually got Make Desktop up and running, I kept looking at the stream once in a while to make sure it was working, because I wanted it to be a good video, you know. I thought, well, I'll start it over if it's messed up. So, that'll be one of the, I may want to try that. First, I just want to basically see that I'm getting, I don't need those lead-ins and lead-outs, you know. I can quit using them. So I just want to first make sure that I get the best stream I can get without video lag. That's what it is. The audio's ahead of the video, and then go from there. But this thing might be the thing I need. And so anyway, this person, I read the comments and everybody seems to like it pretty well. But I don't see a date on it or anything. So I don't know, but their website, the person that wrote the OBS software, was saying, see, OBS has an API allowing developers to create their own unique plugins, giving them and others complete control of their streaming experience. Some popular plugins include, it says many more. Let me look at that again. But that says empty when you get to that page, so I don't know. Maybe there used to be more in there. Oh, and I'm just going to click on this and go out, get off my blog page. Here is their main page. This is their, it's obsproject.com. Open Broadcaster Studio. Free open source software for live. I think maybe there's some more words under there that's not showing up. Yep, streaming and recording. That's a little trick I learned a long time ago. If you can't see something, it may be that you can highlight it and see it. So they have Windows 7, 8, and 10, which was released November 21st, and then they have Windows 7, 8, and 10 over here. I believe this right here says December 4th, 2015. So anyway, that Linux link is how I got to all that stuff I was just showing and telling about. But and like I was saying a minute ago, I can hear my machine working harder, so I'm going to get off that page. It's that flash thing at the top. Well, my laptop has not quit, so evidently, take note, the FLV, that's why I wasn't using FLV. I bet I figured that out already. I don't know if I figured it out or not. When I'm in this screen, my mouse buttons don't work. I have a 5 button mouse, and my left and right, my back and forward buttons don't work when I'm in this tight VNC viewer, which is unusual. It works almost everywhere else. Okay, so like I did write in my little blog about my experiences with XSplit and Wirecast, and I never got Wirecast to authenticate on YouTube. It might be working now. It's been about a year or something. Well, I don't know if it's been that long, but it's been a long months since I tried it. Thing is, it's so feature limited. They want you to sign up and pay to get it to really work. XSplit works fine, but it is feature limited. It actually was pretty cool software. But you couldn't do as high a resolution of a video or desktop stream with it as you can with OBS Studio. It's limited to like 768 by whatever, and which would be enough. But because if you don't have enough bandwidth, you can't do any higher than that anyway. I think I'm actually doing more than that now. That when I saw my my bit rate, and that's 1481. It's changing back and forth, going up and down. I think that's, but I'm thinking, because I did a bunch of reading in the beginning of all my endeavors into this YouTube live streaming. I started as soon as they opened it up, and I had to do a lot of reading to try. I tried and learning to try to get, and a lot of it, some of it I already knew and forgot it, because I used to mess around with streaming with VLC, and I actually tried that. That's one of the first things I tried, and I couldn't. I don't think VLC is set up that it would work with the way YouTube is, because VLC doesn't have an authentication method in it. You can set up a stream all you want. I used to know how to set it up. I tried to do it. I tried to do it the other day so that I could set my other desktops my other computers to stream their desktop, and then all I have to do is catch that stream here with OBS Studio instead of using the VNC. You know, I cannot remember how to. It's not obvious in the wizard, but you've got I can't remember how to get the address right. You know, you just got different. You got HTTP, RTSP, and RTP, and all that. Different choices, and I remember getting it working on a couple of different ways. And but I do know one thing: you have to give it like when you're over on the other machine trying to pick up the stream. I get it streaming, that's easy. But when I kind of find the stream so that I can pick it up in VLC, and I was just using VLC to pick it up in the other machines. I can't remember. I think they've changed the application. I did this a long time ago when there was actually more control over VLC, and you'd give your stream a name. I'll just give it a simple name so that I could type it easy. On stream, you know, and I was able to do it. Also, the recognizing. Let's see, where's my VLC? Since I'm going on about that, go right here. Whoops, I wasn't quick enough. You can usually click on something, and then if you say, "Oh wait, I don't want it in that workspace," you can hurry up and click on the other workspace, and it'll be opened up over there. But so yeah, VLC is one of the most powerful, coolest video applications. It's called Video LAN. I forgot what the C is for now. But so let's say what I did is I opened up Stream. I was jabbering. I'll cancel it and show it again. Here's what you do to get a stream going. You want to say I want to stream. Okay, I went to media, stream. You can do convert and save is simple. I do that pretty often. There's one thing I keep forgetting is how to. It's easy to get your desktop, but you got to set things just right. Find your card, you know, your audio and all that junk to get the audio to work. It took me. I get things figured out and then I forget how to do it. But so you could stream a file. You could stream a disk. This is in the stream menu. You can stream a network stream. You could restream it, capture video for Linux 2, PVR, DVR, desktop. So you could do desktop. Desired frame rate, you got to pay attention to that because you want at least 30, or it's not gonna. You know, you're not gonna. If you're talking 15, well, you know, if your machine can't handle it, but you're not going to be synced at 15 frames per second. And then there's show more options, and that's just MRL. See screen. You don't want to change that. That's the standard stock setting. So then you can hit stream, and it'll put you in the wizard. Sources screen.